Okay, good morning, guys. So, here is the slide for 5 welding defects that get instantly rejected. Okay, so this weld pass the welder own check. It look clean, then radiograph come back, and it failed inspection. In many years, Ajay QAQC inspectors have rejected thousands of the belt, and almost everyone comes down to just 5 defects. I'm going to show you all fives, what they are, how to spot them on film, and exactly what the code says. And the number one defects, it's automatic reject every single time. No exception. Let's count down from 5. I am Ajay, Senior Quality Manager. I am also certified ASNT Level 3 among with the other certifications. Before we count down, understand how a reject decision is actually made. Every defect goes through 3 steps. First, you detect it, recognize it by how it looks on the surface or on the film. Then you judge it, compare it against the code acceptance criteria. Then you decide accept, reject, or repair. For 5 defects in this video, there are almost no gray area. So let's start the countdown at the number 5 is the porosity. Number 5 is the porosity. This is the most common defect you will see. Porosity is the simply gas trapped in weld as it is solidifies. A dark spot with the surface darker than surrounding welds. You will see it isolated, it cluster or in line. Now, a little porosity is often allowed. It gets rejected when pore size, the count or clustering goes beyond what the code table permits. Because concentrated porosity weaken the cross section, check it against the required acceptable codes like ASME 31.3, 31.1. If you see 31.3 table 341.3.2 or AWS D1.1 acceptance limit. But porosity is the gentle one. Number 4 is harder to get out. Number 4 is the slag inclusion. Slag is the non-metallic residue from your flux. When it gets trapped between passes or along the fusion line, it stays inside the belt. Almost always it is the cleaning problem. Poor interpass cleaning. On film, it looks like irregular or often elongated running along with the belt and darker than belt metal. It rejected when the length or the accumulation exceed the code limit because slag breaks the continuity of the belt and concentrate stress. So far, these are the volumetric defect. The next two are the planar, and that's where it gets serious. Number 3 is the undercut. This is the groove melted into the base metal right at the belt toe that never got filled. It caused by too much current, too long an arc, or traveling too fast. On the surface, you can often see it directly. On film, is it a darker, irregular line along the toe. Here is white matter. Undercut is a sharp notch, and sharp notch is where fatigue cracks start. It's rejected once the depth or length crosses the code limit. In AWS D1.1, that typically around 1/3 of an inch, but confirm the exact value for your codes. Now to the two that almost always means rejection. Number two is the lack of fusion or lack of penetration. This is the one people underestimate. Lack of fusion means the belt metal never actually bonded to the base metal or to the previous pass. Lack of penetration means it never reached the root. Either way, the joint is not joined where it matters. These are the planar defect, and on the radiograph they show as a straight, sharp, dark line along the fusion face or right down a root center. In a full penetration belt, this is the almost always an automatic reject. There no within limit. Here belt simply is not doing its job, and that brings us to number one, detect. That is never acceptable. Number one is the crack, zero tolerance. A crack is an actual fracture in the belt or heat affected zone. Hot cracks, whether cold crack or hydrogen crack or crater crack, it is the most dangerous discontinuity there is. One film, it's fine, irregular, often branching dark line, and the dangerous part is it can very tight, very hard to see. Here is the rule: you must never forget a crack, any length is an automatic reject under virtually every code on earth. There is no acceptance table for crack. You find a crack, that belt is rejected, full stop. That's why it's number one. Let's lock it. Number 5, porosity, gas pore beyond the size or count allowance. Number 4, slag inclusion, trapped non-metallic over the limit. Number 3 is undercut, a notch at the toe past the depth limit. Number 2, lack of fusion and penetration. The joint is not actually bonded. And the number 1, crack, any length, automatic reject. Master these 5, you cover the vast majority of the belt rejection you have ever make. Good question for you. Which of these 5 defects do you see most often on site? Tell me in the comment. I read them. If this help, subscribe. I post videos on welding and DT inspections lessons every week or a day. The next video covers something every inspector is asking about right now. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one. Pin the comment which defect have you seen most on the site.